Hello, everyone. This is Mighty Scon here with Feed the Beast Revelation. Now, this is a massive mod pack and has a lot of variety. It has some great aesthetics mods, tech mods, and magic mods, all for version 1.12. This pack's been out for about 2 weeks now, and I usually wait until after the first patch to start playing. So now that the first patch has been pushed, I will start this game. Alright, so let's get started with a new world. Okay, we're going to start with survival, obviously. This is not a creative gameplay. And let me see if there is biomes of plenty. I'm not seeing that. So we'll go through and just pick the default. I did see Lost Cities, but you can access Lost Cities outside of loading a world. So let's just get a random seed here so you can follow along if you want to. Alright, let's call this Mighty Season 1, and that should be it. So let's start. I'll see you in a minute when everything loads. And we are back. Let's let the terrain load for a second. So I'm gonna get a little higher here, and then we can see what we have around us. Oh, I like this. Looks like some horses. Then we actually have a crags biome, which I really like. And it's nearby a river and a meadow, so that's going to be very nice. Looks like a forest over here. Let's go a little higher. And we have, looks like a tower, maybe a village. Oh, we have sprouts down here. These are Rustic 2 mobs that are very cute. They're passive, obviously. And they also have their garden that they tend to. Would like to capture a few of these and put them in like a lab environment. I think it would look really nice. Alright, what I want to do now is gather some basic resources like wood, and while I'm doing that, I will talk about the mods that are in this pack. So I'll go through all the mods that are relevant and add functionality to the pack, and I'll list them out and explain in short detail what they actually do. And if you are not interested in that, then you probably want to skip the rest of this video, because I think I'll stop once I'm done. So one of the mods that is noticeably missing is refined storage. It may not be a big deal to some, but others who prefer it over applied energistics, you may have to sideload it into the pack. Alright, so let's get started with the list. The first one is Dank Null, and it adds items and a portable storage system that lets you void excess items you pick up. Then the next one would be Actually Additions. So this adds a lot of items, and it's one of those large mods that is included in this pack. So you get power generation, item transportation. The next one is Advanced Rocketry, and it's a fun mod. It lets you explore planets, and they create their own dimensions. So it's kind of a dimensional mod at its core. Then we have Applied Energistics, which if you've ever played modded Minecraft, you'd know that that is a expandable storage mod. And like I mentioned earlier, there is no refined storage. So this is the core storage mod in this pack. There is Architecture Craft, which adds a variety of aesthetics to the game. Then we have Roma's Mining Dimension, which lets you access an early game mining world. And you'd probably want to do that early on, which I'm going to do in this pack. Then we have Ashik Tomb, which lets you combine manuals and books into a single book. It's handy for saving space. And then next we have Astral Sorcery. And so this is a magic mod, and it introduces some structures into the world, temples, and it's based on the night sky and stars in the sky. There's also some neat particle effects that go along with this mod. We have Baubles, which I think is a core in every mod pack now. We have Better Builder's Wand, which includes more options for Builder's Wands. Let you build faster. We have Bibliocraft. So this is one of those mods that once you have it, you definitely need it in every pack from then on, and it's not been available until recently in 1.12. This adds things like armor stands, pedestals, desks. You can put maps on walls. There's a variety of aesthetics, blocks. We have Benny's mods, and this adds, it expands on bees and trees. I'm going to check here for some chests. Actually, I don't have any way to check for chests, so I'll come back and look at these. I notice that there are Christmas lights on these. So what am I at? I'm looking at my list of mods. Oh, there's Block Craftery, and this is a neat mod. It adds different angles and different types of blocks in aesthetics. It's another aesthetics mod. There is Botania, which is a magic mod based on plants and picking plants. There is magic or mana involved in there. Chest Transporter, which does a single thing. It creates a block, an item that lets you transport chests. We also have Chisel, which is another aesthetics block adding mod that lets you use a chisel to create a variety of new blocks. Then there's Chisel and Bits that lets you create custom sized blocks. So not the standard cube. You can actually create triangles, circles, different things like that. And we have Comforts, which adds sleeping bags, which are portable beds that don't save your location like a normal bed does. Compact Solars, which is an add-on to Industrial Craft. This adds more solar panels. We have Compactor, which adds a single machine that lets you auto-craft 2x2 and 3x3 items, like turning sand into sandstone. There's Compact Machines, so this lets you compress multiple machines into a single block using a dimension. It's a neat block for making compact builds or small houses. Cooking for Blockheads. This adds some fun cooking utilities, like a kitchen. And we have Dark Utilities. This is another mod that's big and adds a wide variety of items. We have Deep Resonance, which is it's a mod that is geared towards additional power generation. Draconic Evolution. This is a late game mod and adds uh, late game progression system as well as power generation. Then there's Embers, which is a mix between magic and tech. There is these magic system of energy, and there are these technology style blocks like furnaces that let you cook things, and item transportation. We have Ender Storage. This will add chests and tanks that allow you to transport items and fluids across dimensions and large distances. We also have Engineer's Workshop. So this adds an early game item which essentially combines a chest, a furnace, and a workbench all in one block. We have Environmental Tech. This is a mid to late game mod, and it's geared towards mining and also there's solar arrays for power generation. Then we have ET Lunar, so it's an add-on to Environmental Tech, and instead of solar panels, this adds lunar panels. So we have Exchangers, which adds the ability to exchange one block for another. And there is something like this with a wand, but this is a technology-based solution. We also have Extra Cells. So this adds larger storage and fluid storage to Applied Energistics, and it helps fill the gaps with what Refined Storage did. And there's Extra Utilities, which is another one of those core mods that adds a lot of different utilities into the game. We have Extreme Reactors. So this is a mid to late game power generation mod and lets you build these large multi-block reactors. We have Lux Networks. It allows you to transfer energy wirelessly, so you don't need wires to transfer RF. And Forestry, it's another large mod, a lot of items, more geared towards tree farms, bees. We have FTB Utilities. This is a core mod, not so much for adding items, but it does add the feature of chunk loading. So you can actually load chunks, then keep them rendered while you're away. We have Gadget Tree, and it's a simple machine mod. It does add power generation, and there's an item transport system with it. Gendustry. So this is genetic modification for bees and butterflies, as well as trees. So it goes well with forestry and Benny's mods. There's Gravestone, and that will drop a gravestone when you die, and your items are actually stored inside of it. We also have Harvestcraft, or some people know it as Pam's Harvestcraft, and this adds a lot more food and farming options to the game. There's Immersive Engineering, and this is a neat mod. It adds large, lifelike machines to the game. We also have Immersive Petroleum, which is an add-on to Immersive Engineering, and it adds oil derricks and fuel processing, and it also looks more lifelike than some of the other mods. We have industrial foregoing. So this will let you add customizable machines and items. It also covers a wide variety of features. There's Industrial Craft 2. This also is probably one of the biggest mods in the pack and adds tons of features into this pack. If you're not familiar with it, then you probably haven't played modded Minecraft before. Then we have Inventory Tweaks, which lets you auto-sort your backpack. It doesn't add anything into the game. It just adds that functionality of auto-sorting. Up next is Iron Backpacks. So Iron Backpacks adds a backpack that you can upgrade, and currently there's not a lot of functionality with it, but it isn't like having a portable chest. There's also Iron Chests, which adds a expansion to the existing chests and lets you create chests that store a larger amount of materials. We have JEI, which is a staple in modded Minecraft now. It lets you look up recipes like you see here on the right. Lets you see every item in the game. Then we have Journey Map, and this adds a map of the world and waypoints for those who like to explore. There is a library next, and it's Vulpes, and it does add blocks. That's why I'm including it in this list, because it does add power generation and other machines. There's a mod called Long Fall Boots, and it adds one thing, and that's boots that can negate all fall damage. There is Magic Bees, and this is an add-on to forestry bees and Benny's mods. We have next Mob Grinding Utils. This lets you add a lot of ways to kill mobs, and a lot of utilities in gathering the materials from the dead mobs. Then we have Morpho Tool. This is like Ash Kick Tomb for tools. So wrenches, hammers, all of those things you can put in a single item. Then we have Natura, which is kind of a companion mod with Tinkers, and this adds new plants like berries and a lot of other variety to natural Minecraft world. We also have Nature's Compass. And this is a neat mod. This lets you craft a compass that you can use to find other biomes. Next is Not Enough Wands, and this adds a variety of new wands that do different things. I think one of them lets you pick up a block, so like a spawner, and then you could put it somewhere else. We have Nuclear Craft, which is another power generation mod, and it adds uh, multi-block reactors, much like extreme reactors, but this is based on nuclear reactors only. We have Open Blocks Elevator, which is a mod that adds a single elevator block into the game, and it lets you go up and down floors, so kind of a replacement for stairs. There are different colors for that elevator. Then we have Open Computers, and this adds modular computers and drones and advanced automation into the game. Then we have platforms. So this is a neat mod. It adds nice looking platforms. So if you're trying to build like a deck or even a dock, you can make a nice, aesthetically pleasing dock with this mod. Then we have Quirk, which is a subtle mod that adds simple things like fences and banners and other aesthetics into Minecraft. So there is quick leaf decay here, and this causes the leaves to quickly disappear, dropping the items that come from them after you've cut down a tree. Next we have ranged pumps. So this adds a pump that you can pull up liquids like lava, and it replaces it with stone, so you're not causing a lot of lag. Then we have Redstone Arsenal, and this is an add-on to thermal expansion, and it adds some mid-game armor and tools that's based on flux and redstone. There is Redstone Flux, which is the energy add-on to thermal expansion. And next we have Reliquary. So this adds a lot of magic items into the game, and they do a variety of things. Then we have RF Tools. It's a neat mod, and it includes power generation, machines, and even some interesting utilities. Next we have Roots, which is a magic mod, and it adds staffs and spells and other items, but it's based on a farming. We have Rustic. So this adds a variety of features, including crops, alchemy, and some rustic looking decorations. We're getting close to the end here. Next is Secret Rooms. This adds a variety of utility items that are geared towards hiding other rooms and other items. An example of that is a lever that looks like a torch. Then we have Signals. So Signals is an expansion to the minecart system, and it adds signals and switches to minecarts. So there is Simple Void World mod, and this lets you essentially make a skyblock world. So if you are getting bored with your existing world, you can start over in the Simple Void World. Next is Snag, and Snag is a small mod that does one thing. It adds a new block of sand, and you take two sands, combine them together, and it creates Snag, and that accelerates the growth of items on it. So sugarcane and uh, cactus will grow faster on it. There is a SonarCore here, which is a library, but it also does add some decorative blocks. So I figured I'd mention it here. And we have Soul Shards, which is based on an older mod in an older version of modded Minecraft. And it lets you build or create a mob spawner based on gathering souls from throughout the world. So you create a soul shard, you capture let's say a skeleton with it, then you kill other mobs around you. And once you've killed enough mobs, you can then create a mob spawner that you can move around. Up next is Steve's Carts, which is one of those mods that expands on minecarts. Then we have Storage Drawers. This is an early game expandable storage mod that lets you essentially store millions of the same item in a single block. Then we have the Tesla Core library. And this is a library, but it also does add items into the game. And those items are compatible with other mods. So you can substitute things like gears, essentially, with other mods using the Tesla Core library gear. Then there's Lost Cities. So this is another really neat mod, and it essentially lets you start your game in a post-apocalyptic world. So imagine starting in a Fallout-like world. If you don't start your game with a Lost Cities world, you can get there, and I think it requires putting a bed on top of 2 diamond blocks and then surrounding it with 6 skulls or other mob heads. Now you do want to be careful that you have a way to get back home. Something like RF tools dimensions, because I believe it is a one-way ticket. We also have thermal expansion and all the mods that go along with that one. And this, like IC2, is a very big mod and adds a lot of new functionality into Minecraft. Next is Thut's Elevators. And this is a multi-block elevator system that lets you go up and down, essentially, using specific elevator blocks. There is Tinker's Construct in here. And so, if you're not familiar with this mod, it does add modular tools. And in this pack, there is a leveling system as well. So this lets you add more functionality to a tool at the cost of leveling it up. So the cost of time. And this system is neat because you can make some very powerful tools. So the more you level it up, the more mods you can add to it, essentially. And I don't think there is a limit. So after that is Torchmaster. And this adds a few more torch options. And if you're familiar with the Extra Utilities 1 mod, there was a mega torch, essentially. And what it did was you placed it down, and it blocked mobs from spawning in a very large area. I think 64 blocks in every direction. So no matter what the light levels are, the mobs would not spawn. Next is Traverse, and I like this mod a lot. It adds a crisper look to existing Minecraft biomes, and it also adds in new biomes, like mini jungles. And so the crisper look you see, like the lush grass, that comes from Traverse. The next one is Waystones, and this adds in naturally spawning or craftable waystones into the world. And waystones allow you to teleport either using a scroll or warp stones. So it's another way to actually get back from the Lost Cities dimension. Then there is Wireless Crafting Terminal, which is an addition to Applied Energistics, and it adds a lot of features to the Wireless Crafting Terminal. Features that let you delete items within it, like a trash can essentially. There's also a card that you can add that will automatically put items, instead of going into your inventory, they go directly into your Applied Energistics system. So things like that. The next mod is XNet, and this essentially adds an item transport system which is based on cables, and the cables are designed to prevent lag, and it lets you travel large distances. So it's kind of a long range item storage system. I like to use this if I have a mine somewhere that I want to transfer items back to my base. And next is Nice X, and this mod adds a variety of decorative blocks, and I like these blocks because they are particle based, like sparkles or smoke. So you can add a smoke block into the game, so you can have like a real fireplace if you wanted to, and a chimney that actually produces smoke. And then we have X-tones, which used to be Z-tones, and it may actually be pronounced Z-tones still, but this is like chisel, and it adds new decorative blocks into the game, like fantasy blocks and advanced engineering blocks, blocks that just give a different look if you're trying to go for a specific theme for your base. And I think the last one is YABBA. So it's a barrel mod, and it's a mod much like storage drawers. It adds expandable barrel storage system, so you can store up to millions of items into a single block. And that's the list of the mods. Now, you've heard me ramble on for the last 30 minutes, and I appreciate you listening. And next episode, we'll actually get into building some of the early game stuff, and probably focus on tinkers a lot more. Thank you for watching.